Hello Pythoneer, welcome to your 17th Python tutorial. In the last video, we looked at the various methods that you can perform on sets. In this video, we are taking a look at set operations. Sets are very good, especially when you are dealing with sets in maths, dealing with things like Venn diagram, working with data, where you need to compare, you need to see the differences and then all that. So there are other methods, in sets, so operations in sets, so you can find the difference, you can find the intersection, you can find whether it's one set is a subset of another, one set is a superset of another. So let's quickly look at that. I'll just comment this out and then I'll just look at maybe set operations, and let's quickly look at some. So we want to first of all look at intersection. So typically you may want to find out whether your data there's an intersection between programming and then scripting. Of course, visually there is an intersection, but we want to display that mathematically, programmatically. So we want to find the intersection between programming and scripting. So basically I'll just say programming dot intersection. And then what am I intersecting with? Scripting. Now I need to store this. I'm going to store this in, I'm just going to say intersect. A variable called intersect. And then when I do that, I would print, I'll just say intersection. And then I'll just print the results. So let's run that and see. And notice that there is intersection. So we have R, JavaScript, and Python. So JavaScript, R, and Python. You can have JavaScript, R, and then Python also here. So that is the intersection. Now, apart from doing intersection, there's also this intersection update. So that is like what it does is that it updates your set item with the intersection result. So I want to update programming. I want to find intersection. And then I will update that. With the results of the intersection. Means that and then scripting. So I will comment this out. So at this point when I print programming, and I'll just say intersection update, and then I'll print the result. So so programming. I'll say print, not program. Print. So now when I run, so you can see intersection update. So it updates programming. So when I print programming, it updates programming with the results of the section. Good. So apart from that, I can also look at symmetric. Now symmetric difference. So symmetric difference. Now symmetric difference. Symmetric difference is the opposite of intersection. So it rather looks for the items that do not exist in both sets. So it looks at the items that do not intersect or that do not exist in both sets and then join them together. So now I'll just say symmetric difference. I'll just say symmetric difference. It's symmetric difference is programming dot symmetric difference. So you have this method and then with intersection. With scripting, good. So now once you do that, I want to print. I want to print I'll just say symmetric difference. Okay, now I'll just print that, and then I'll just say symmetric difference. Good. So now when I run this, notice what I get. So I have Perl, Ruby, PHP, CSS, HTML, XML. So now Perl and Ruby, okay, Perl and Ruby exist in scripting but not in programming. Whereas PHP, so PHP, okay, PHP, Perl, and then Ruby exist in scripting but not in programming. Whereas CSS, HTML, and then SAS exist in programming but not symmetric. I mean, not in scripting. So it joins that together. Okay, so you can also do symmetric difference. Okay, update. Okay, so you can also do update. When you do the update, okay, it updates the programming language with the symmetric difference. Okay, so I can just do this, and then when I'll just say programming. Okay, and then when you call programming like I've done here, it's the same thing, just that it updates programming with the symmetric difference, not in a new variable. Okay, so I'll just lastly look at just a few of them. So we can look at I think the difference so there's also difference. Okay, so difference is, I think, let me see. So now let's try difference. Okay, so programming, so I'll just say languages. Okay, I'll just see difference and compare it with symmetric difference. So I'll just say languages, okay, is equals to programming dot difference. Okay, and then we'll say intersection. Sorry, what's wrong with me? Scripting. And then when I print languages, so when I print languages, good. When I print languages, okay, so now let's compare that with symmetric difference. Okay, let's compare the two. Okay, so you see the difference, okay, with the symmetric difference and difference, okay, is that with the symmetric difference, it finds the difference, the item that should not exist in both and combine them. Whereas with the difference, when you say programming the difference, it looks at the items that are in programming, okay, but not in scripting, and it brings out the difference. Okay, so it's something like minus, okay, and then symmetric difference like a combined minus. Okay, so you see that SAS, CSS, HTML, and XML. Okay, HTML, XML, SAS, CSS are in programming but not in scripting. Okay, so you can do the other way. You can say scripting dot difference. You also do the update, and then it will update whichever variable concerned with the symmetric difference. Okay, so you can also look at things like whether the sets they are disjoint. One is a subset, one is a superset. Okay, so let's look at disjoint sets. Okay, now basically when we say a set is disjoint, basically what it means is that the items in one set, or all the items in set A are not, none of them is in set B, so they are more like disjoint. They don't have any common item. Okay, so let's try that with database and scripting. Okay, so we want to find out if database is disjoint. Okay, is this database dot I think it's so database should be a set, okay, so that I can have the property. So database, now let's try it again. Database dot disjoint is disjoint. Okay, is it disjointed from scripting? Okay, so now when you do that, okay, and then you run, so I have to print that. Okay, I have to print that, and that gives you a boolean, okay, true or false. Now, true means true because all the values, okay, in database is none of them is in the scripting. Okay, so let's say I had things like maybe web programming, okay, something like web programming, okay, as a variable, okay, as a set, and then it basically contains, let's say, JavaScript, PHP, and then Python, maybe JavaScript. Okay, then you can have maybe PHP, and finally, okay, Python. Now, what will we use that? Okay, so we say that web programming, okay, disjoint, and it's going to give us false. Okay, because I mean, in this case, all of the items are even in the scripting. Okay, good. So apart from that, you can do things like you can also find out if one set is a subset. Okay, so we want to find out if web programming is a subset of scripting. Okay, so we can say web programming dot is subset. Okay, so let's try with a subset first. Okay, it's web programming a subset of scripting. Okay, and we want to print out the results. And then you find out that it is true. Okay, now what about if we say supersets? Okay, so it's supersets. Okay, and then you run that, and then you're going to get false. Okay, now let's do the opposite. Okay, so we just say a scripting. Okay, is it a superset of web programming? And you should expect true. Now, why? Now, a set is a subset of another set. What it basically means that if A is a superset of B, then what it means is that all the items in B can be found in the items in A. Okay, and that is that. So go ahead and try all other, set operations. Okay, and so lastly, what I'm going to do is that we are going to perform a loop like I always do. Okay, so I want to loop through my set. Now to do that, I'll just say for, okay, so for program in programming, okay, so for program in programming, okay, print program. Okay, now you run that, and then you have, so now notice the positions. Okay, let me run this again. So JavaScript is first. When I run this thing now, R is first. Okay, and this is all because of the behavior of sets. The sets are unordered. Okay, guys, so thank you for being part. I'll see you in the next tutorial where we move straight to something new. We're talking about conditions, okay, controls in Python programming. Bye.